Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So this week is the season finale of Evil Season 2, Episode 13. C is for Cannibal. Now this week is ordination week, which means David is getting ordained. But before he gets ordained and all that kind of stuff, he's being put through all these questions that's being asked after minister, after minister, after minister. Okay? David, he answers to all of them and finally gets the final virtual interrogator, okay? But this is not a priest, but a lawyer. It's Renee, the sister of David's ex-lover, Julia. As the church's lawyer, she is responsible for looking into potential liability concerns, specifically his time in a program for sexual addiction, right? So David passes his test as well, claiming the church has nothing to worry about, but as he drives to his new case, he continues to have these little sexual fantasies that have been plaguing him all season, which I felt like he should have went ahead and had his little escapade. He should have went ahead and him and Kristen, even though I know she's married and that's not fair, that's not right, but I don't think she loves her husband, but she has very strong feelings for David. So Kristen and David could have did the booty do with each other, or he could have went and found some other girls to get that out of his system. But anyway, let's go on. Okay. So Renee asked him a question, and she said, are you doing this for yourself or are you doing this for my sister? And David said, I'm doing both, And she said, well, make sure you're doing it for yourself, only for yourself. The life is hard. She told him before she signs off. All right, so now we're going to get into this case. The team meets with a medical student named Mitch. Okay, he's a vegetarian, a long-time vegetarian. Now, Mitch has felt these urges to eat steak, raw, uncooked. Okay, however, it is not just animal meat he desires, but that of his fellow classmates and cadavers, forcing him to zip tie himself to his bed so he doesn't bite his roommate. First of all, if you think about biting me, you better get on somewhere, because he's not gonna be zip tied in my room. He's gonna be zip tied out in the hallway, and I'm gonna be locked in a room. But anyway, he's also been having dreams where he's chased around by a shadow in an abandoned school. Okay. Now, he said, I just know if it catches me, I'll give into it. And he's referring to his cannibalistic desires. Okay? Now, that night, Kristen and Ben throws David an ordination bachelor party, which I didn't even know they can do that, if that's such a thing. But in the show, it is. Everyone is there. Sister Andrea, Dr. Boggs, Cheryl. What is Cheryl doing there? Even Kristen's daughters show up, okay? Full of their daughter energy, because those girls are a bit too much. This means that everyone is meeting everyone, okay? Leading to some fun interactions between the characters who usually don't even speak to each other. Now, when I was watching this, I think the best interaction so far is Sister Andrea and Dr. Boggs. Now, Dr. Boggs, he's looking for answers to that demon he saw last week, okay, in last week's episode. So Sister Andrea scolds him, okay, and she scolds him from running away from the truth with science and creating fictions to avoid God, okay. She tells him to go to the Monsignor and get baptized. Otherwise, the demons will drag him to hell when he dies. And she was straight up serious, too. Meanwhile, Cheryl and the Monsignor meet and discuss Leland. Oh, God, Leland. Leland is To me, I think Leland in this episode did too much when he gave the note to to Kristen's daughter, but we'll get to that. Right? With Cheryl lying to the bishop about Leland's recent behavior. Now, after the party, the team returns to campus to check out the abandoned school building. The student sees in his dream. They enter the morgue. Kristen noticed the holding cell drawers opening on their own, only to be relieved to discover that the students are sleeping there as part of an event known as the 3 a.m. haunt. Kids do some of the craziest things. College kids, they do some of the weirdest stuff. But anyway, as Kristen and Ben exit the building, David wanders off into an abandoned lecture hall. Okay, there he finds a demon, a winged demon at that, feeding on one of the morgue corpses. The demon chases David all over the building, with David barely escaping only after Kristen pries open a stuck door, right? And he gets out. Neither Kristen nor Ben sees the demon, and Sister Andrea tells David that as he gets closer to God, the forces of evil will come after him, just as they done with her. She then shows him a burn she got from a tail. So David freaked out, okay? He just wants a normal life, and it only increases his doubt about joining the church as a priest. Now, later that night, Sister Andrea has a dream where she is attacked by the same winged demon that attacked David. Sure did. So, David requests a location-based exorcism for the school, but before he gets the green light, they get a call from Mitch's roommate, who tells them that Mitch chewed through his zip ties and is running around campus. So Ben and David rush to the campus to stop Mitch, just as he's about to take a bite out of one of the corpses, only to discover that the corpse has a tattoo of one of the sigils from the map that's reappeared throughout the season. Okay. Now, Kristen meets with Mitch for another evaluation, but honey, she is interrupted by Leland, who was sent by the church to observe her questions. I don't even know why Leland is working there. Leland does not need to be working at no daggone church, but we're going to go ahead. We're just going to keep going. Kristen calls David, who brings it to the attention of the Monsignor, but he is already on the line with Leland, who lies, okay, about Kristen throwing her shoes at him. Leland lied on the phone and said that Kristen was throwing her shoes at him. But what happens next, though, is hilarious. Kristen then takes an inspiration and starts beating Leland with her shoe, which is both frightening and hilarious at the same time. It is. Because she looked like a mad woman, but I'm glad she was beating his behind, because Leland do too much at times. He just do too much. And he looked... oh, God, the look on his face was like, oh, like, what? Like he didn't know what to think about Kristen. So, David, Ben, and Sister Andrea examine the sigil map, with Sister Andrea revealing that the map represents dozens of houses of sin, each of which is run by its own master. She also goes over their succession plans, which involve the master of the house being eaten by the appointed successor. Disgusting. And that's why this episode is called Cannibalism. Cannibal. Segue to Leland guiding Mitch, telling him there is nothing wrong with cannibalism if the person is dead. It's just so disgusting. Look at the rites, Catholic Church. That's what he said. Eating the body, drinking the blood. Leland points out, referring to the Catholic ritual, I don't know. It's something with the church. There's nothing wrong with imitating the holiest of Catholic sacraments. This is what Leland is telling Mitch now. We already know Leland is a nut job. Period. Speaking of sacraments, David's ordination is finally here. But even the holy event can't keep his mind off of his sexual fantasies. Okay? I really wish he would have fulfilled those fantasies before he got to this point. Kristen, her daughters, and Ben are in attendance, along with Leland, who drops a note on Lex's lap that reads Daffodil. As he is leaving, much to Kristen's horror, Kristen takes her daughter outside, who reveals that Leland has been coming by her school, and the two have been talking. Kristen rushes home with her daughters, grabs her ice axe, and heads out. Honey, I was rooting for her to do something to Leland because I'm getting tired of him. He is off the chain, and he brings a certain comedic sense to, how can I say it, to the show. But sometimes he just do too much. Too much. Lexus go to her room and takes out a book to read. But this is not just any book. It is a pop-up book of the terrifying things. And I'm thinking that Leland gave it to her. The same book that has been providing the fun title cards for each episode. If you watch Evil, you'll know that in each episode, there's a book that's open, and the letter and what it stands for and what that episode is going to be about is in there. Now, as she looks through, she notices at the back of the cover, it's the word daffodil is there. Okay, so Leland returns to his apartment where he is hosting a birthday party for Mitch. Happy birthday, Mitch. Sadly, there's no birthday cake to be found, but instead, the menu is a human body. And that tattoo on the head of the seagull, ugh. So Leland cuts that out and gives it to him. Disgusting. Cheryl is also in attendance and warns Leland that if he hurts one of her granddaughters, she will cut off his pecker, okay? And she took the knife and she patted him down there. So Kristen is a no-show at Leland's. Okay, I thought she was going to show up, but she didn't show up. Instead, she went to David's apartment and she tells him that she was on her way to kill Leland, and then gives David his first official confession, revealing that she killed LaRue. And she was, oh my God, I felt so bad for Kristen in that moment because she was just so vulnerable, and she was just telling, this is what she needed. This was Kristen's cleansing. This was what she needed to do. This is what Kristen needed to do, because she's been holding this back and it's been messing with her. And when it comes to her children, she do not play. She will break you off in a minute. She will cut you down. So Leland needed to consider himself lucky that she didn't show up at his door. But instead, she went to David's apartment and gave her first full confession. And she was just, you could just tell this was heavy on her heart. She was just crying and crying. And I think David is the right person that she confessed her sins to. I really do. I think, he was the right person to do that. She said he was threatening my children, my girls, so I had to kill him. And I got away with it, she said. Crying and screaming as her guilt eats at her. And it really was. David is astonished, but he guides her through, okay? And, whatever they need to be said during that time of confession. I'm not Catholic, but, he guided her what she needed to say and everything. And, and her sins in the eyes of God, it's, I guess she's cleansed or whatever. But as she's cleansing herself on one sin, another presents itself as the two share a kiss. And not just any kiss. This is a David and Kristen kiss. This is a romantic kiss. This is a kiss that was supposed to have been happened, okay? And guess what? That's where they left us at. That's the season finale. They left us at David and Kristen sharing a romantic kiss, a heartfelt kiss. And it went off. And that's the season finale. Oh, my goodness. Let me tell you something. This season was pretty good. It was, some of the episodes now were all around and up and down and all over the place. But this episode was on and popping. This episode was the best. I loved it. I cannot wait for season 3 to happen. Okay. Because now I want to know what happened with David and Kristen. Did they finally do the booty do? Did they finally bump uglies? I want to know. So I can't wait for season 3 to start getting themselves together to film and premiere, because I need to know what's going on. But anyway, if those of you that watch Evil, you know what's going on. You know why I'm excited. You should be excited too. But anyway, this was a good episode. This was a good season, period. If you have not watched Evil season 2 or even Evil season 1, you need to do so. You need to catch up before season 3 comes on. This was very good. Very good. All right, so I'm not going to hold you guys up too long, but that's what I want to say. That was the finale. All right, guys, I'm out, and I'll talk to you later.